Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So let's talk about this repeal proposal, but before we get into that, let's take a quick look at the market. Let's take a quick look at BTC and let's take a quick look at the LUNC price chart just before we get into this, just to get a feel for how things are going currently. So let's take a look at crypto bubbles. It is looking good on the day. Like I said yesterday, we were seeing that minting coming from the Terra treasury, specifically 1 billion. It's a good sign. The market's reacting and we've seen BTC react to this news, and it's really good. It seems to me like we're going to track sideways. If Tether continues to print, it's going to play into that motive, that narrative that everybody's kind of seeing and feeling at the moment. So like I said, BTC is looking good. It's moved up a decent amount and it looks to be tracking sideways. There's a lot of news out there that specifically is targeting that psychological sort of zone of $50,000, so to speak, because getting up there, we just haven't been there for a while, specifically since the last halving event, if we're being quite honest. But like I said, it's looking good. Things are moving in a more positive direction. Expect things to go up, expect things to go down. So what I want to do is take a quick look at the LUNC price chart. I think this is really important because what we're actually seeing is a third attempt to get out of this sort of falling pattern we're in. We've seen an attempt back here. We've seen another attempt back here, and it looks like we're seeing another attempt here. And I'm saying this because we're specifically following this line. As you can see, we're coming up and we're bouncing back down. A lot of things are running at the moment. I'm going to be bluntly honest with everybody here. We're lagging behind, but this is kind of always played into the Lunar Classic sort of situation of the way it moves and does what it does. There's been a lot of times where BTC's been a sharp and harsh decline and LUNC starts moving upwards. So maybe we're prepping for something. Like I said, what I think is we're going to track this line and hopefully we're going to break out of this falling pattern, because currently it looks like we're following this sort of trajectory at the moment and we're going to be going down a little bit more. But hopefully, like I said, we're going to see a breakout. It's always played into our favor before, not moving with BTC and then suddenly starting to move once the whole market starts to decline. So let's jump over to this repeal proposal 11889 being paid per job. I think this is really important to go over here and give my perspective as to why I think this is a good idea just to repeal this thing now. Regroup, touch base, come up with a better plan, a better idea, a better way to more or less implement this thing at a middle ground. There's so many ins, there's so many outs, there's so many different opinions of what the pay per job is, what it means, what all of the different ins and outs are. It's just too much. And I think the most responsible thing right now to do for everybody is just to repeal it, because some people are saying it needs to be obeyed. Genuine Labs haven't obeyed it. The community's not really obeyed it by allowing Genuine Labs to obviously go forward and do work outside of the pay per job. If we were obeying it, I myself know this was an alternative option to getting paid on chain. So like I said, everybody's got so many different opinions, so many different perspectives on how they've depicted the pay per job should be. So for me, at this point, the smartest thing to do is just repeal it, okay? Regroup, rewrite the thing, and then go from that point onwards, because otherwise there's going to be so much back and forthing. And what we're seeing at the moment is the L1 task force is saying they won't merge Genuine Labs' code because of a specific fact of the paid per job. And you get where I'm coming from, right? There's just so many things going on that surrounds this theoretical system that doesn't exist. No one was ever paid to build it. Nothing's really ever been developed towards it. It's not something that's built. It's not implemented. It's just as good as an idea on a piece of paper, which was an optional route. So you could still go down the route which Genuine Labs have gone down. Now, like I said, you've got a lot of people saying a lot of different things. So for me at this point, the maturest thing for us to do as a community, as a validating set, is to repeal it, regroup, touch base, and then come back with some sort of pay per job which meets in the middle. But once again, you're going to have people who say, we want permissionless system, we want a KYC system, we don't want fail safes, we want fail safes. There's so many different issues going on at the moment, and suddenly you've got the majority of the Luna validators are suddenly really active and are shooting a lot of things down. They're saying, oh no, you know, you need to abide by governance. It's like, where have you guys been for the past? It's crazy. But like I said, no one's been paid for this. No one's been paid for this. But what I don't want to see is the continuation of all of these different developer teams sort of not bickering with each other, but just sheer confusion as to what needs to be obeyed, what doesn't need to be obeyed. People are making mistakes, and then people are scared to do things any further to make any more mistakes. So this is where all of the confusion comes in. This is where everybody seems to be highly confused, right? So if we repeal it, everything goes back to how it originally was. Developers can get paid and we can regroup. And if the paid per job is something that everybody wants to see, they'll have to work out a plan. They'll have to develop a system which works for everybody, not just one party, not just the other party, but for everybody, a common middle ground. And we don't have that at the moment. There is no common middle ground. One person saying one thing, another person saying another thing. The proposers are saying a different thing. The developers are saying a completely different thing. You've got one development team that's got work they want to merge. The people who merge the code are saying, well, we don't want to merge anything until the paid per job is either sorted out or repealed. And it's even myself, right? It's hard to keep track of all of the different things that are going on that surrounds this sort of paid per job system that doesn't even exist. Like, it would take months to build and develop this. I know this off of the bat. It's going to take months to build it if you are to develop something like this. The testing that has to go into something like this is weeks and weeks and weeks. You've got to try out all of the different eventualities. You need to have circumstances set as to what defines a job. Is a job too large to be involved in a paid per job system? And everything's got to be broken down individually into singular jobs. There's so much testing that goes into things like this. And I think everybody sort of doesn't really grasp that it's not a system. It doesn't exist. It's not being built, and it's just an idea on paper. The amount of proposals, right, that we have seen passed, the tax changes, all of the different things to stop reminting USTC and ask Binance to start burning USTC, and none of them get obeyed. None of them get obeyed. Directly burn the 800 million USTC. You've still not seen that happen. Okay, so the USTC, you've still not seen a repeg. So there's so many people who are not obeying governance, and it's all just becoming a very circumstantial thing based on the person who's depicting it. Like I said, I am going to say yes to seeing this repealed because it's just causing chaos. You can just repeal it, regroup, get a better idea, meet in the middle, and then, whilst development continues on the blockchain, so we're not halted in the final 76 days before the halving event, and development continues. It's the maturest thing to do right now. I don't know how you feel about this, but like I said, I just wanted to get this out there, let you know how I'm feeling about this, how I'm going to be voting. And realistically, I don't want to see development halted any further. We've already seen so many different halts, so many different things going on. And then on the back end of everything, you're seeing tweets like 6 Samurai are going to check Genuine Labs' work and merge it into the code base. It's like, what? How are they going to do that? Vin and the L1, they manage the repository, not those people. It'll need to be voted through governance. And so at what point, who's not obeying governance, right? See how it gets all confusing? And with all that being said, you've reached the end of the video. That's all I've really got for you today at the moment with LUNC. It's very up, it's very down. Hopefully we can remove all this confusion and push ahead. The halving event is upon us, and realistically, the enemy is becoming more external than internal at this point. So we really do need to regroup, become a bit more unified, and move forward together. Folks, drop a comment, drop a like, do all of those things. They really do help the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. Patreon links down in the description. A little bit of good news on the back end of all of this is we are bringing back LUNC Dash for you beautiful people. So keep an eye out for that one. Will be coming very soon in the future. We have got indicators coming too. All of those lovely things for you lovely people. Stay safe, stay humble, stay aware. And as always, we'll catch you in the next one.